morning, everyone, and welcome to Mind Body Joy's Stop Living in Limbo, Feel the Power of Joy webinar. I'm honoured to have you here, and I hope you get some benefits from this webinar today, showing a short snippet of my program, the Power of Joy Mastery program. I look forward to sharing this information and having some interaction with you through the chat boxes. If you have any questions, don't forget you can raise your hand or put a comment in. And we'll get started. So as I said, welcome. And I call the power of joy my empowering cloak. It's like my cloak empowering me to live my life full of joy. And I'd like people to remember that happiness and joy starts with you. It's not dependent on your relationships or the amount of money you have or your job that you hold or the house you live in. It all starts with you. Now, a little bit about me. My name's Joy Fairhall. I'm a master hypnotherapist, timeline therapist, NLP, Reiki master, and life coach. My official title is emotional support and guidance coach, and that is what I do. I provide emotional support and guidance to people who are going through life-changing events. I also specialise and have a real big interest in the mind and body link, because if the mind and body are aligned, then joy just comes naturally into your life. I also specialise in supporting people in life-changing diagnosis or event times. Now I'll explain a bit more about why I am so passionate about that a bit later in the webinar. My hobbies are photography. My soul half and I have a photography business, but our passion is really travelling around Australia and doing nature photos, so waterfalls and animals, etc. But we do weddings, small weddings and life events for people. I use the word passion, but I do love cooking. I love cooking and getting the joy that comes from that when people eat my food and the response they get. I also enjoy making sometime food like truffles, etc., into healthy food without people realising it's healthy. So I'm always having a play around with recipes, and I'm well known for my bung it in recipes, which means I just bung this and that in without a recipe. I'm also a bit of a self-confessed tech head. I love new software. I love playing with things. I like Adobe Spark, iMovie, anything techie, iPad Pro, all of those things. I just really have a fascination for it, and I have the patience to play with it too. I'm also creator of the 3-Minute to Calm method, which is available for everyone free as my gift to you on my website. And also Fill Your Heart with Joy method. And we're going to be touching on some of that today. And I was also very honoured to be invited to co-contribute to the My Big Idea book, which is a journal full of inspiring ideas and inspiration from world leaders and authors. So this is a #1 bestseller on Amazon, international bestseller, and I'm very proud to be part of that. So we're talking about limbo. So what really is limbo? The definition of limbo is that awkward place between where you are now and where you want to be. It's that place where you sort of, I know I need to move, or I know I need to do something. You know where you want to be, you know where you are now, and that's what I describe limbo as. And joy. Joy is a really difficult, I think, to put into words feeling or emotion. But I've put it here as a feeling of great pleasure, happiness, and warmth. It really is an emotion that's difficult to describe. You can sort of feel it better than you can put it into words. And because we're talking about the power of joy, what is power? Power can have negative connotations, but for me, power is a strength that gives me the capacity and ability to influence not only myself and others. And as I said at the start of this webinar, I envisage or I imagine the power of joy like a cloak. And I can literally sometimes physically throw it on me, or in my mind throw this cloak of this power of joy, and my body posture stands up better. I have a strength. I know that I've got happiness and joy and blessings that will guide me through my life. So power for me is not negative. It's actually a strength in an empowering emotion. And I've made up this because sometimes we do need to go into limbo. Limbo is not a bad thing. It's quite often where you're processing things and getting ready for the next stage of your life. So as I've written here, a quote that I've done myself is that sometimes we need to hide away or go into limbo before we emerge on the other side, ready to spread our wings again. And for me, going into limbo, as I said, it's not a bad thing. I had a really emotional year last year with the loss of my mum and two favourite uncles, and a big change in my life as well on a personal level. And emotionally, I was coping. Emotionally, I was doing everything. On the surface, I was doing everything I needed to, as you need to. Um, but for the first 6 months, I had mum in and out of hospital. We knew she wouldn't be able to live at home. There were big changes there. And after we lost her in June, obviously, you know, apart from losing my best friend, I had all the legal and financial and all the paperwork and all of that stuff that goes with the loss of someone. And I was emotionally drained. And all the while I was trying to continue to build my business, and I realised that I needed to have a bit of limbo time myself. So realising that limbo is not a bad thing, and that it really is a time where you can reassess, rejuvenate, nurture and self-care, and then you're really able to go to that next step for yourself. So why do I understand limbo so much? And I've just explained a little bit of it about last year. But for me, I grew up in a typical family, mum, dad, brother and an adopted brother. We had a fabulous family life, and I went on to marry my beautiful husband, Graham, and we had two beautiful children, Andrew and Katie, who you can see here. Katie, she always is a happy child. It's just one of these photos where she didn't want to get her photo done. And Andrew, who just loved driving even from a young age and has continued to drive professionally now, but in a bigger vehicle of a bus. And these two beautiful kids are now grown up adults, and we still have a very, very close relationship, and they are the joy of my life. Katie has blessed me with two beautiful grandchildren, and on the surface of all of this, and you can hear in my voice how happy and proud I am of my life, why would I understand how hard and challenging it is to live in joy and happiness every day when I'm saying my life has been blessed? Well, from the age of that photo that we saw at the start, my mum was chronically ill. She was diagnosed with an illness that affected her quite badly, at times left her bedridden for weeks and months at a time, and often in and out of hospital. From a very young age, I was cooking, not cleaning, but cooking for the family, and I had a responsibility to look after her. But I didn't feel that responsibility. It was just how things were. But being in limbo, when I look back now, I was told at a very, very young age that my mother would not live long past the age of 30. Now, having that when you're growing up, and at the time I didn't realise the seriousness of it, that I was constantly listening for her during the night, hoping she wouldn't fall, and very conscious of listening to her and making sure she was okay. And I did take that responsibility on me without really knowing what I was doing at that age. I also lost my beautiful husband and my children, their dad, in 1997 after a beautiful long marriage and happy marriage. A marriage not long enough. And it is a challenge when you're grieving and you lose the love of your life, and the children have lost someone who should have been there, seeing his grandchildren and seeing his children growing up. It is hard. So I do understand why people say, well, you can't have joy and happiness, I'm going through this. But it's the power of the joy that got me through. It was the power of seeing what I had had. I was looking at what I had, not what I didn't have. And for that, I'm really blessed. And today in my life, I have a wonderful relationship with my soul half, Ron. And you can see there he's always quietly supporting me from behind, a gentle hand, beautiful smile. And I have been blessed to have found love twice in my life. So this is why I have a unique understanding of creating joy and the power of joy and happiness when life can throw you challenges. So what are the situations where you feel stuck in limbo? It might be when your kids have left home, or you're dissatisfied with your appearance or your job. There may be financial concerns. Your appearance, you may be feeling you're looking older than you are. I mean, these are important to some people. In a relationship that's not quite where you should be. You may have experienced loss, divorce, not confident, etc. There are a lot of reasons why you can feel stuck in limbo. So what does limbo feel like? Life in limbo can go by really slowly or ultra fast. And sometimes you feel a bit panicked because you see your life slipping away with every birthday that passes by, and you're really uncertain of what the future holds. And you're just waiting for something that's going to make that uncertainty and that limbo-ish feeling go away for the soon or one day to come. We often find ourselves saying, I will start soon, or I will be happy again one day. So these are the reasons why we need to just take that first step, because it's not a comfortable spot. And we don't want to waste this precious life that we have hoping for one day. So what are the benefits of joy and happiness? Well, there's quite a few. And I've put one up here first. It actually makes you look younger. It's true. So smiling physically tones your facial muscles and makes you look younger. But even if you go, and I'd like you to do this after the webinar, go and look at yourself in the mirror and put on a grumpy face, and you'll find your whole body tenses up and everything changes. And then put a smile on the dial, as they say, and you will see the difference. You will be able to see that you do look younger when you're smiling. There's also research that shows there's improved mood. And there are structures in the brain, and I can't remember the name of them at the moment, but they have shown that these structures in the brain that deal with emotions literally shrink when there is chronic depression, pain, or stress, or situations like that, chronic. But they've shown that in these people that with frequent laughter and joy and happiness, that those structures physically change in the brain back to normal size, resulting in improved mood and health. It's just amazing what happiness and joy can do. More of this research has gone into that they found that people who have a daily regime of having joy and laughter in their life, like watching funny goat movies like the ad says, or kids laughing, or reading humorous stories, or watching funny movies before you go to bed, actually improves your sleep quality. And when you think about it, of course it does. Because if you're feeling happy and you've been laughing, and there's more benefits to come that'll explain this, you are less stressed. So of course, if you're not stressed or tense, what's going to happen? You're relaxed. And of course, you're going to sleep so much better. And I was talking about why you feel so much better when you have a laugh. It's because the physical process of laughter triggers the release of endorphins. Now, we all know endorphins. They're the rush of brain chemicals that just give us an overall sense of well-being. And laughter releases these just like it would for exercise that we do. And improved memory. Studies have shown that smiling and happiness also improves your memory. My goodness, couldn't we just bottle this power of joy? We'd make a fortune. But why's the reason? Well, when you think about it, when you're less stressed, it means that you can take more in and remember more. So, of course, when you're stressed, you can't take in any more messages. You get overwhelmed and you just can't cope. So, of course, your memory is going to improve when you're relaxed, when you're happy, when you're less stressed, and you will be able to take more in. But the benefits keep rolling on. Joy gives you power. Now, for me, I have this power of joy cloak, as I refer to. It actually is like my anchor. I know I've got this power of joy. I know that I can look for positives anytime. So it's like my anchor. If I'm overwhelmed or hurt or frustrated or challenged, it really gives me the power to rise above it and deal with things more effectively with a level head. So that's how I describe it. It also releases the happy hormone, dopamine, as you know, which is linked to brain moderation. So smiling boosts the activity of the brain and, again, involved in decision making and processing. Healing. This is a big one, and there's a lot of research going on about the link between smiling and happiness on health and immunity. So if being happy and joyful, which reduces stress, which reduces the stress cortisol, of course your body's going to be healthy. Of course you're going to have better immunity. So how wonderful would it be if we could bottle up laughter as a prescription? I've already spoken about improved memory. And as I was saying, it's really interesting. You just need to hear a bit of laughter or see something, as the studies have shown. So let me share something with you now, and let's see if we can't get you smiling. Just watch this. So how beautiful was that? So I recommend looking at YouTube and seeing if you can find some things that are really interesting and humorous to you. Now, I'm not sure if anyone has seen the Fletcher's Wheel of Emotions. Now, it shows you the link between emotions. So you'll see these things here: loathing, disgust, rage, anger, grief, sadness, they all link in to various things on here. Aggressiveness, contempt, remorse. But you'll see that optimism and love are made up of the beautiful words here, and particularly joy. Now, I just wanted to share this with you because it's a really interesting study that's been done, and I'll actually send you the link that explains a bit more about it. But I just wanted to show you the link between emotions. So change is easy, right? We can just do it tomorrow. Well, it's not always. We're always hungry for instant results. And society these days are obsessed with them. We want everything right now. We start a diet. If we're not at goal weight in 1 week, we're not happy. We want something to eat, we chuck it in the microwave or buy takeaway. We know that sometimes change takes time. But why is it so hard? So in our brain, we have neuron pathways, and it's actually something that we call, in scientific terms, experience-dependent neuroplasticity. So this is when your brain makes a memory and it will go there straight away. The brain is inherently lazy. It wants to go down a path that knows really and quickly and easily. It doesn't want to have to do any work. So how does it have these paths? Well, it's from our lifetime. So let me explain it in simple terms for you. I'd like you to imagine you're on a field and you're standing on one side of a field that is waist high full of wheat, and I've told you you need to go to the other side where the fence is. Now, if you walked through that field of wheat, it would be challenging. It would be hard going, but you would get to the other side. But you would have to push and stomp the grass and push it aside and walk through it side to side, and you'd actually be quite tired by the time you get there, depending on your level of fitness. But what happens if you walk back from that side and go back to where you started? It would be a little bit easier. And then if you do it several more times, well, you'd have an established path and it would be easy. And this is how we do the pathways in our brain. So it always feels a bit challenging when you first start. And this is why you need support and explanations and practice to keep things going. So more often we allow our minds to remember the good stuff, the joy, the easier the joy thinking becomes. This is making a path. The more you have a pathway, the more you experience, the easier it's going to be. So what I'd like you to do is have a think about what brings fills your heart with joy. So for me, I'll give you an example. I love spending time with my family. I love holding hands with Ron. I absolutely adore the beach and water. Water is almost spiritual to me. Ron calls me the cork because I can lay in the water and I am just floating like a cork. And I love it, and it fills my heart with joy. I look at the sky, I see the birds. If I'm in the middle of a gorge, I'll see eagles fly above. I love water. So I'd like you to imagine what fills your heart with joy. So Tash has said that a baby's smiling. Anne-Marie has said life. So I'd like you now just to really close your eyes and listen to this song that I've composed. And while you're listening to this, imagine that baby smiling. Imagine life. What brings you joy in life? And really feel into that. And then at the end, we'll talk about how you're feeling right now. So let's just do this quick exercise. So feeling into the joy that is in your heart. How do you feel when you see a baby smile? How do you feel when you live a life full of joy? How do you feel when that baby looks at you and giggles and life is going well? And you're filled with a joy that just warms your whole body. I want you really to tap into that joy. Really feel that joy. Really let this joy fill your heart. To feel the joy in your heart, you need the joy in your thoughts. And now I'd like you to visualize the joy. So creating a vision for your future, but we're going to actually create a vision from emotion, not a physical manifesting thing. So what is it that you really like? And what's really in your heart? But before we can visualize the future, we need to thank the past. No matter what's happened in the past has made us who we are today. It has given us life lessons we just cannot discard. So make sure that you thank your past. And keeping a vision to 10 lines makes it easier to do. So a vision can be as simple as, here's my example. I love without bounds. I love my family and friends. I have life-work balance, etc., etc. Visualizing the emotions that you're going to feel makes a vision much easier to do. And future joy. If we write a mission statement for the future, what is it going to include? So some questions here is like, what is life like? What can you hear? What are you eating? What have you accomplished? Etc., etc. So asking a question like this, it makes it easy to create a future statement. And once you've got those, what is your future joy like? Surround yourself with visual reminders of your life filled with that joy. So here's some examples. I've got my grandkids, I like to touch, colouring in, the beach, etc., my family, yoga. So I have created a vision board, but I actually like to keep individual photos, ones that pop up as a reminder on my phone daily. They change over the week. I have photos everywhere. I know some people like to write something in lipstick on their mirror. Not my scene. But visual reminders everywhere actually creates that path and begins to manifest that power of joy. The more you see it, what is that path doing? It's getting more and more deeper in your mind. And then we're going to action this joy. You're going to write that mission statement or your goals, and it allows you to plan your goals and take small steps to it. They don't have to be big. Here's an example of a goal that I've set now, and that is to catch up with my daughter once a week. Now, it sounds simple, but we all live busy lives. So this is going to make my week feel great that I see her once a week. So why don't you set one goal now? What's something that is going to bring you joy and is going to make an impact on your life that you can do by next week? So I'd like you to write that down now. And I want you to feel the power of joy. I want you really to imagine 5 minutes a day. I'd like you to really feel the power of joy. I'd like you to visualize that you are walking towards your future. So you close your eyes and wrap that power of joy cloak around you. Now, it can be physically or visualized cloak. I actually imagine my cloak to be turquoise and purple. And sometimes when I'm in a challenging situation, I actually physically go to throw this cloak over. People must wonder what I'm doing. But I'd like you to imagine yourself looking towards the future, looking at the words you've created, looking at the words on your mission statement, and visualize yourself walking towards that. Everyone can find 5 minutes a day. So I encourage you, have 5 minutes of doing this daily. So now I'd like another quick activity for you. And I'd just like you to close your eyes and just listen to my words. That limbo is temporary. It had a purpose and it's time to move on. Living in limbo is that place between now and where you want to be. The power of joy will give you the power to learn, live, cope, and grow. Joy can be experienced every single day. And the more your heart is filled with joy, the easier things will be. The power of joy is your secret empowerment cloak. The power of joy has many health benefits for your mind and body and life. You can ask for help. You can ask for support. Believe in yourself. You can do this. You have the power of joy. So I can help you get focused and inspired, overcome obstacles, limiting beliefs, and shrink the size of your butt. But if you want to reach your goals, you must shrink the size of your butt. Everyone has a but I don't have enough time, but I don't have the money, but I can't be bothered, but it won't work for me. So I just want you to think about the size of your butt. And I'd like to give you the opportunity to master the power supported by myself, where I'll explore and identify what's stopping you living the life you desire and deserve. And you'll gain insight and confidence to be yourself and in your decisions. And I will help you feel empowered to move forward and change your life easily, effectively, and for life. These are not short-term fixes. I will work with you to make these life changes. If you enjoy sessions, being supported and encouraged to achieve your goals, then I'm the person for you. I will help you plan for change in an achievable, possible, positive, and action-orientated way, and you will achieve the results you need now. If you want to work with someone who has unique insight into joy, limbo, challenges, grief, loss, then I'm the one that can work with you, and I'll celebrate your growth and success every day. What can you expect when you work with me? One word: results. So I'd like to introduce you to my new program called the Power of Joy Mastery Program. And this is a 5-week online program. So online meaning you don't have to leave your own home, you don't have to travel, you can do it in your own time. We will set a time. You will have the resources provided to you before the workshops, and you will have me live online for an hour and a half every week, going through the modules, providing the support, and giving you the answers then and there on the spot. And the benefit is that if you aren't able to attend live for 1 week, you will get the recording as well. So in the Power of Your Joy, which is workshop 1, we'll actually be looking at what is your joy. What do you need to reduce stress and overwhelm? What do we need to create a healthy mind and body, and blocks to joy? And the joyful way is actually what fills your heart. What is the outcome? What are you tapping into your joy, visualizing your joy, and blocks to joy? Your joyful future, get clarity on it. What really fills your heart? We're going to anchor that joy. We're going to create new neuron pathways, and we're going to visualize. In week 4, we're going to action it. We're going to put them into a plan that is achievable for you. We're going to do this in a smart, action-orientated way. And we're going to go through your goals, each and every one of you. And then in week 5, we're going to celebrate your joy. What was your first goal? How do you physically and mentally feel after completing this program? Now, this live program is normally over $700. But because we've got the launch through this webinar, I'm actually giving you a webinar special. So you get the Power of Joy Mastery program. But a bonus for the next two days only, you will get an extra webinar where you can catch up and share your joys. You'll get membership to a private Facebook support group. You'll get my top tips for 217 ebook, email support to fast track your success, a workbook to work through and keep all your notes and goals in one place. And I'm going to give you the Goodbye Limbo song that I've composed that we heard earlier. Now, all of this is valued at over $1,000, but the launch price today is yours for $294 with the discount code. This is valid for 2 days only. Now, that works out to be less than $50 for each workshop, plus you end up with a webinar, so it's less than that. $50 for an hour and a half working one-on-one in a group or with some support, that is great value. So if you'd like to take this up, please contact me, or you can go directly to my website, but you need to make sure you've put that code in, and I will email you the recording of this webinar with the details. But if you'd like to get in contact with me, feel free to give me a call or contact me through my email or website. I hope you've had a wonderful session. I've enjoyed our interaction and your comments. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me, and I look forward to seeing you in the future, whether it's working with you or hearing how you've implemented some of the things I've shared with you today. As I always say, make sure you have a wonderful day, and remember to fill every single day with joy. Make it a great one. And bye for now. And I'll catch you all later. Bye-bye.